good, family? I appreciate you guys being here. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Business Podcast. This is a podcast where I have creative conversations with my creative friends, and I have a special guest in the building. Please help me welcome Bobby Hatfield. How are you today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. What inspires you?
Yeah, so I always think that's an interesting question. I look at it a couple ways. With people that inspire me, it's typically when I look towards those I look up to that I'm inspired by are people that have overcome challenges. Someone who's, they might not have had an easy path. They have a big vision, they have dreams, and they've put the effort in to make them become a reality.
Great, I love that. I will say I also inspired by a lot of different things. A lot of different people inspire me. I think inspiration can come from a lot of different places and things. And no matter who you come in contact with, a conversation can spark inspiration. And if you're just hearing about somebody's day or hearing about somebody's past or anything they're doing business wise and creative wise, that can always spark the next creative idea. So what sacrifice you feel like you've made to grow and dedicate your business?
Oh man, that's a long list. Looking back throughout the years as an entrepreneur, I think there's been many. Time obviously is a big one. The amount of time and energy that it takes to build something big of significance. It's a real time commitment. So, there's been a lot of sacrifices around enjoyment, entertainment put to the side for trying to stay focused and engaged in whatever company or idea I'm working on at the time. Relationships is another big one. There's a lot of people that in your life that you have, whether it's family or friends that you might, have a history with that they don't necessarily fit where you're going with your future, whether it's within your business or your personal hobbies or interests. And so there's been a lot of sacrifices there. Doesn't mean that, you don't love them anymore, but as far as carving out time and spending the days, the nights, the weekends with them, those are far and few between as you try to stay focused and on a path. And then, of course, direct relationships as well. Fortunately, I have a wife that's pretty forgiving and open to the sacrifices that I have to make with time, whether it's travel into another state, city, working on new projects. So the list is pretty long, but those are some that come to mind.
Yeah, I think I resonate most with the relationships. You just come across a lot of relationships that, like you said, are not meant to always be there. And you got to recognize when that season is over, when to kind of cut the excess fat, and so that you can elevate. And so I really resonate with that. What do you say is the greater why behind your vision in your business?
I think that goes back to family and relationships as well. So, when I look at what I do or why I do it, it always goes back to trying to put myself in a position that I can take care of the people that I love. And so, growing up in a small town, single mom, I was exposed to a lot of things that I didn't want for myself whenever I became an adult, started a family. And so it's all about family, all about friends, trying to put myself in a better position so that not only I can enjoy the lifestyle that I want, but also can help and take care of others. It doesn't matter the business, the idea, the industry, at the core of it, it's always family.
Family is very important to you. I just being around you, I see that, and that's also big important to me as well. I'm sure your forgiving wife appreciates the time and effort that you put in to sacrifice for your family. Next question. What's your theme song? This could be a song that gets you going or a song that you feel like represents you the best.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, music. I'm a big fan of all types of music. So, depending on the mood that I'm in, the day, kind of what I'm looking to draw out of it or where I'm going. Country, rap, rock and roll. I listen to all of it. Christian music. and one song doesn't always come to mind, but the kind of the anthem that I run to is always trying to put myself in a position to where I can be for other people what I needed, whenever I was working on, whether it's, a business idea, a new career, something personally, a hobby. So I'm always trying to put myself in the mind frame of how to help others. I realize that the more people that I help, the more that I get what I want. And so, when it comes to music and theme songs, it's more about just creating energy, trying to lift myself up, and my playlist is pretty diverse.
I like that. I like that. If you had one, could you give me one song, just how you're feeling today?
How I'm feeling today. Well, I'm in the middle of a lot of projects going right
Okay.
now, so we'll go Dirks Bentley, Burning Man right now.
Okay.
So
Okay. Cool.
it's interesting that there's some days, some weeks where you feel like you got it all figured out, you're rolling, everything's going in your favor. You don't seem like you can do any wrong, and then there's other days, other weeks where you can't do anything right. And so. That song kind of speaks to me right now. There's so much going on that you got to take the good with the bad, and at some point in your journey, there's always both. It's not always going to be good every day, every hour, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I like that. What I gained from that was just kind of like a balance. You just, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, but as long as you're kind of balancing everything, it seems to play out within, you know, the grand scope of things. So I like that. Okay. What business decision was difficult but was most needed to move the needle?
Yeah. Yeah, when I think that always is probably for me tailored around people. It's trying to make the right moves with the right people for the business. So, in business, it's a people game, right? It doesn't matter what your service, what your product is. At the core of it, it's having the right people on the team. And so, it's for me, it's putting the right people in the right seats and knowing when to bring people up within the organization and give them the opportunity and responsibility in the organization, or bring or hire from the outside. And so for me, I think it's striking that balance of who do I give opportunity to grow with the company and give responsibility that they might not have had a track record of experience for years in the position, but they've showed that they have the attitude, the energy, and the work ethic, versus going out and finding that person that has the experience. They've been there and they've done that, and bringing them in so that the business can immediately benefit from their experience. And so I think finding that balance and knowing when to make that call has been pretty critical to my success. I'm also in the real estate business, and another lesson learned or difficult decision that always pays off is not being afraid to spend the money on the real estate or buy the right property, and put it in the right location. A lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, it's all about competition and pricing, and early on I've looked at that much differently than I do right now. And there's always room for more if you have a good product, you have a good service. And in the real estate game, typically the properties are priced a certain way, and not being afraid to take the risk to buy the A property, the best possible location, and spend the money to do it is something that I think's important.
Switching gears a little bit here, this is kind of a fun one. So, who would you cast to play yourself in the biopic?
I think I'd go with Mark Wahlberg, not necessarily because he looks like me in any way, but I like how he operates on screen and off screen. The guy's driven. He's self-made. He's done a lot of different things, but on screen, he's been able to play multiple roles. He's been able to be the action star. He has a little bit of a dark side to him, but also an intellectual side. He's been in some comedies, so I think he's pretty well rounded. And then again, off the screen, he's built huge companies and has is an influencer and a following to inspire people on the personal development side.
I like that answer, and I can definitely see that fits you. It's a great answer. How do you want to be remembered ultimately?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's about leaving your community better than you found it. It's trying to create a legacy for your family and the people around you, and and for me personally, it's leaving it all out in the field. So trying to every day, every year get better, as a person, as, a father, a husband, a businessman, trying to create opportunities for others. And, and at the end of the day, making sure that, I don't have any regrets. I've left it all out there, and I don't look back and, and I'm thinking about the what ifs.
I love that. What advice would you give to your 20-year-old self?
Yeah. Um, Definitely would be to think bigger, fear less, and think bigger. I think that it's natural as humans, especially younger adults, to really care about what other people think's best for you, or go down a path that someone else has laid out for you, and so and not be scared to take risks. And so I've kind of, I think if you look at most people, I've been ahead of that game, being a business owner and an entrepreneur. But looking back on decisions that I've made and my vision, it's certainly, I wish I would have taken the time to explore more, to actually see what's possible, and surround myself with people that are building things, doing things that, that to me seem impossible. I think at the end of the day, that vision and the people that you surround yourself with really will determine the path that you take. And so I would certainly want to think bigger, and not be afraid to take on those challenges.
Yeah, thinking bigger earlier on in life is a recipe for a successful person, I feel like, and especially who you surround yourself with and the things that you get into when you're younger, and the more you surround yourself with the older people around you and people that are you see going on the right path that you're trying to go on, I think will definitely lead you towards success in the long run. So I definitely appreciate your time, Bobby. It was great information and knowledge that you're dropping. I'm pretty sure you guys learned something from tuning into this podcast. This has been another episode of Behind the Business Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next one.